This is an LED light bar. And it's a pretty new piece of technology. And in France, you'll see them bolted to all sorts of cars. Not the ones you might think. Old cars like this one. And this one. But not so much these ones. And that's for two very good reasons. And the first reason is headlights in old cars in France aren't that fantastic. In fact, for comparison, here's Pascal's headlights and here's the mower's headlights. Not a huge difference if I'm honest, but we'll come back to that issue in a minute and try and remedy it. The other reason is that a lot of towns in rural France decide to turn their street lights off at a certain time of day to... Hang on. Allô? Allô? C'est ton chien? Il est perdu. Pas grave, pas grave. Ah non, prends là. Non, non, c'est bon. Non, non, c'est bon, prends là. Ah oui, coucou. Ok, bon courage et bonne journée. Au revoir. Oh, you're still on. Sorry about that, I had to rescue a dog. Little old scraggly dog wandering down the road. Sort of, I'm out of here. Just down the middle of the road. An old lady trotting on behind him, calling him. And unfortunately for her, the dog was ever so slightly faster than she was. It was all good now. I don't have a belt anymore because the poor old lady had no lead with her. I think the dog got out of the garden and just sort of said, right, that's it now, I'm off. So I have no belt because I had to, well, give her me belt to lead the dog home with. So if my trousers fall down in the rest of the vlog, you know why. What was I talking about? Street lights. You see, a lot of towns in rural France, what they'll do is at a certain time of night, they'll turn off all their street lights to save money. Which is a great idea in theory, but it's not fantastic if you're driving around in a 35-year-old little white French van with headlights like candles inserted into brown paper bags. So we're going to try and remedy that today. Right, first things first, get rid of this under tray. You don't see metal under trays on a lot of newer 4x4s, they're plastic now. Pointless. This Jeep, this 4x4, raced in the Dakar Rally in Africa. Not this particular one, but one the same. Don't drop it on your head, Brian. Lovely. Always worrying when you find a bolt just randomly sat in your under tray. That's a 13, could be a 15. What size is that? Nope. Cool. Where them washers go? Lovely. I had the good sense when I installed this onto the Jeep not to make it sort of permanent so I could take it out if I needed to. And then all we need to do is disconnect the ground wire. Take that off. For this task you will need wire cutters, 10mm spanner, and a cup of coffee. Right, that is all the gubbins we need for the lights. Looks complicated, it's very simple. And luckily the only thing that needs to go through the firewall here behind the engine and into Pascal himself is this cable. So this is a switch. That means you can... Let me start again. So the idea is when the full beams come on, the light bar also comes on. It gives you loads of light. But if you don't want the light bar to come on all the time, you have this little on-off switch that can isolate the light bar. So say you just want a bit of full beams for a second and you don't want a huge blazing light bar, you can turn it off. So when you turn on the full beams, the light bar doesn't come on. And that is the only cable that needs to go into Pascal. Luckily, there's already a channel for that. Now, do you see that little black circle there that has 2 small holes in it? Well, that's a rubber grommet that goes right the way through the firewall and into the cockpit. And that's really good, because what you want to avoid doing is drilling holes in the body of your car. Because unless you're really careful about it, over time they'll rust, they'll crack. It'll just be a whole thing. And I definitely don't want to drill holes in Pascal. I want to keep him just the way he is. Because like I said, this is a temporary winter upgrade for him. So we're going to find that on the inside, shove those wires through, make sure the grommet's all secure so it's not letting any water in. We should be good to go. And there you have it. That little rubber cap goes through the bulkhead. We'll just shove a wire through that, stick it all back together. That should be all we need to do. Now these 3 wires, there's a better picture. These 3 wires need to go through this block. Luckily I took a picture of it before I took it off, so I know what way it goes back on. So, goes white, blue, black. That way, that way, and that way. Right, Pascal, let's take off this mask and see who you are underneath. My God, it's Bruce Wayne. So the only modification we're making to Pascal is to drill 2 small holes in his bumper, which is like, it's kind of like fiberglass really. That size, so the bolts can hold the brackets on for the light bar. And then when I take the light bar back off, what I'm going to do is you can get 2 little sort of rubber grommety caps, and they'll sit in here and here. So you won't even notice he's been modified when the light bar is not there. Right. It's just like being in the dentist, okay? It'll only hurt for a second. The reason we had to take off the grill was so you could sort of access behind here to get to the bolts that go onto these, the nuts that goes onto these bolts, because you can't get your hand in otherwise. Right. Let's get them brackets on. Start getting everything wired up. I found out a cool thing this week. Well, I think it's cool. You might think it's absolutely ridiculous. But, you know, I don't know if you know, but when we were working at the Chateau, we were filmed by an English TV company to go on a program called Help We Bought a Village. And it's about sort of people in, well, Europe who have bought weird and wonderful buildings and are doing them up. Anyway, we spent, actually they filmed with us quite a bit, but the way the program works is it's like a 30-minute program, and it's kind of split into 3 parts, and each project gets like 10 minutes each. So it might be, and now we go to Dan and the cruise, and now we go to Mary in Bulgaria, and now we go to Trevor in, I don't know, Paris. It doesn't matter. So that's how the program split up. And I don't know if you've seen these programs, these sort of renovation programs, but there's always a voiceover, you know, to describe what's happening in the program. And I was watching it anyway, and the voiceover was like, and now Brian and Nick are going to secure some ropes to the roof so they can safely descend down and put in the whatever it is. That kind of thing. But anyway, I found out that the guy that does the voiceover, and I thought this was so cool, and you might not think this is cool at all. The guy that does the voiceover is the same actor, the same man that played Little John in Kevin Costner's Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Isn't that cool? I thought that was really cool. I know you might think, so what, Brian? I just got a real kick out of that. I don't know why. Because I think it was, I remember going to see Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, in the cinema with my dad and my brother, and I tell you how long ago it was. There was an intermission in the cinema halfway through the movie. That's how long ago it was. I don't know what year that was brought out in. Can't remember. Anyway, I went to see it with my dad, and thought little John was pretty cool. And now he's narrating us skirting about on the roof. Just, I don't know. I thought it was cool. I got a bit of a giggle out of it. So yeah, and his name is Nick Grimble. He's done loads of stuff. But probably most known for Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. Right, Pascal, we got you nice fresh washers because the other ones were a bit knackered. Caught myself watching a little bit of The Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift the other night. Oh my God. Nothing like this. Poor old Pascal. A lot is asked of him. Well, that's not bad. That's a nice tidy job. All I got to do now is figure out where I want to put the isolator button on the inside. That should be easy. Now, it doesn't have to be anywhere too mad because, well, I suppose it could stay in, couldn't it? Because I could just disconnect it off the far end when I take the light bar off when I'm not driving at night. So if we put it somewhere like there, it's kind of not in the way, and I can see if it's functioning or not. And then this little slot here holds a bottle of water nicely, so I don't want to block that up. So yeah, let's stick it there. Hopefully this 3M stuff is still sticky. Doesn't look like it. Might have to change that, Pascal. Yes. That's well gone, that is. Oh no, hang on. Spoke too soon, Pascal. Alright, let's see if this works. It stays there. That's quite sticky, Pascal. And then we can just sort of tuck that cable in there. Out of the way. There we go, Pascal. Look at that. Made for it. Right, Pascal, let's see what these new headlights are like. Ta-da! Oh, hang on. Ta-da! Whoa! Hey! It's like driving in the daylight. That'll do nicely, Pascal. That'll do nice. Right, well, thank you for watching today's vlog. I do hope you enjoyed it. Got to say goodbye now and turn that big light off because it's shining in my face. Don't know what we're doing for the next vlog. Might be going on an adventure, so have a bag ready, but unconfirmed as yet. Anyway, thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you soon.